Hello everyone! Today, I will show you a step-by-step tutorial of using your wool felting needle kit. Your kit includes wool in various colors. Here, we'll just use one color for demonstration. When working, place the wool on the foam felting mat. We've prepared 4 felting needles for you. 2 longer ones, or coarse needles. 2 shorter ones, or fine needles. The longer needles help felt the wool more quickly, while the shorter ones are generally used for surface detailing. Before you start felting, be sure to wipe any oil off the needles with a tissue. Today, we'll be making a Marilyn Monroe wool felting picture. First, take the fabric from your kit. Place it on the foam felting mat with the pattern side facing up. Now, let's go over the basic felting process. Take wool in the various colors you need, tear it into thin pieces, and place them evenly over the matching areas. Then, use the needle to felt them flat. Let's start by making the shapes for the first 2 steps. Take a bit of wool, tear off a portion, and pull it into a thin sheet. Like this. Once you've prepared thin sheets of wool, place them in the matching colored area, and felt them flat with your needle, like this. Again, be sure when felting each area, to keep the wool neatly within its borders. Keep the wool neatly felted within the section, and don't go beyond the outlined borders. When felting, make sure the needle goes straight in and straight out. Don't hook or pull at the wool. Doing so can easily bend or break the needle. When working along the edges, you can use the needle to gently smooth the wool into place, keeping it neatly inside the section. At the edge where the eyes meet the face, do the same. Lightly smooth the wool so that the eyeball and the face are clearly separated in shape. Using the same method, work around all the edges. Now the top of the head is complete. Next, take some wool, tear it into thin sheets like this, and place it in the matching color area for the body. We'll now start felting the body section. Use the needle to flatten it evenly. Again, make sure the wool stays within the section for its color, and don't let it go outside. When felting the edges, use the needle to tidy the wool into the correct section. Once you've finished the center area, if there are still gaps along the edges, take a small amount of wool and felt a thin strip along the border to fill them in. And remember, Felt the wool neatly within the correct section. And don't go outside the borders. With that, one hand is complete. Next, we'll use the same method to make the other hand and the neck area. When working on smaller, narrower sections like these, remember to use the needle to gently smooth the wool, so it stays neatly inside the area. Now, the hands and neck are finished. Next, we'll start felting the face. Take some wool and, as before, tear it into thin sheets like this. Evenly cover the face area. Then use the needle to felt it flat. For areas like this, you can first lightly secure the wool around the edges, just to hold the main shape in place like this, and then start felting the center. Pay special attention to the edges. Use both your fingers and the needle to guide the wool neatly into the correct area, then felt it flat. You'll notice that the shapes of the mouth and nose are underneath the face color, while the blush should remain visible in its own space. When working along the edges, you can place a bit of wool over the border and lightly secure it. Then, using the needle and your fingers, follow the shape of the edge, gently guiding the wool into place before felting it down. This helps prevent it from spreading outside the face area. You can also lift the needle slightly to adjust its position as you work. And with that, the main shape of the face is complete. Next, we'll start felting Marilyn's eyes and nose. Take a small amount of wool, tear it off, and place it over the eye area. Begin felting the eye, making sure to leave space for the iris. And be careful not to felt into the nose area where there's a gap. Use the needle to guide the wool neatly into the correct section. Then felt it flat. Once one eye is finished, repeat the same process for the other eye, so both have the same shape. With that, the eye sections are done. Next, we'll felt the nose and the irises. Tear off a small piece of wool and pull it into a thin sheet. Since the nose and iris areas are small, you only need a little wool. Place it neatly in the nose area, then felt it flat with the needle. Be sure to fill the entire nose shape evenly, without letting the wool spill into other sections. Use the needle and your fingers to guide it into place. And with that, the nose is complete. Next, we'll use the same method to felt the inner shapes of the ears. Once that's done, the ear details are complete. Now let's work on the irises. Take a tiny amount of wool, pull it into a thin sheet. And place it evenly in the eye area. First, lightly secure the center. Then use your needle to guide the wool neatly into the correct section, making sure it doesn't spill outside the area. Once it's in place, use the needle to gently adjust the edges so the shape is more defined. That completes one iris. Repeat the same process for the other eye. And the irises are done. If the surface of the wool looks uneven afterward, you can use the needle to lightly felt it until it's smooth. Next, we'll start felting the blush area. If we want the cheeks to have a more three-dimensional effect, we can first apply a light base layer of wool in the same color as the cheek. Then take wool in the blush color and felt it so it becomes slightly raised. Here, we'll demonstrate how to felt the blush flat and even. Take a small amount of wool, tear it into thin, even sheets, and place it over the blush area. Use the needle to gently fix the center of the blush first. Then arrange the wool neatly within the area, and felt it flat. If the surface isn't even, take a little more wool, lightly layer it over the thinner spots, and felt it flat again. This way, one side of the blush will be smooth and even. Repeat the same method for the other cheek. Note: on the other side, the blush touches the edge of the Coke bottle's cap, so be sure to carefully blend the edge colors there. With that, the basic shape of the other cheek's blush will be completed. If while felting, we find that the seams at the edges are too wide, we can take wool of the same color again, tear it into thin strips like this, and add it by felting around the edges to fill in the gaps. After finishing the blush, we then start felting the white skirt. Take some wool, tear off a portion, and pull it into thin sheets. We can make the sheets a bit more even, like this. Then place it on the skirt area. First, gently fix the middle part. Then use your fingers and needle to shape it within the outline of the skirt. Be careful when felting the edges. Don't felt the wool outside of the skirt area. For uneven spots in the wool filling, you can add small amounts of wool multiple times. This way, this whole area will be basically filled and felted. Next, we start felting the middle and right sections. With that, the skirt section is basically completed. Next, we begin felting the back of the hair. Take wool, tear it into thin sheets. Make the pieces a bit smaller in size, which makes it easier to felt. After pulling the wool into thin sheets like this, place it in the proper position. This way, the upper area of the hair will be felted and completed. Next, using the same method, we felt the left and right areas of the hair. Here, pay attention. We leave a gap at the hairline curl area, which will help us create a three-dimensional shape later. With this, the entire hair section is felted and completed. Next, we start felting the entire background at the back. We begin felting from the upper left side. Take wool in the background color. Then tear it into thin sheets. You can make the sheets somewhat even. Then lay it flat on the area where we will felt. Use the felting needle to start poking it down. After filling it like this, we can then felt the surface flat. If there are uneven areas on the wool, we can continue tearing small amounts of wool and gently cover them on top to even out the uneven parts. Here, be sure to leave the positions for these two letters open. Later, after felting the letters using wool of their colors, we can continue to fill any remaining uncovered areas with the background wool. We tear the wool into long strips like this. Then make them smaller and place them between the two letters. Then felt them through. Next, we begin felting the two letters. We take wool, roll it into long strips, making them a little shorter, then place them in the proper positions. Use the felting needle to gently fix the middle part, then adjust its outline. After the initial felting, you may find that the shape here isn't very clear. So we need to use the felting needle to refine the shape, and then felt it flat and smooth. With this, one letter is completed. Next, using the same method, felt the other letter. Here, note that the middle of this letter still uses wool in the background color. In this way, both letters are completed. Now we start felting the curled hair section. First, tear some wool into long strips like this, and place them on the foam pad. Then use the felting needle to gently poke, making sure the surface is not loose. Felt it into a long strip like this. Loose on the face side is fine. Then take the felted wool painting you just made, and place one end of the yellow long strip at the root of the hair. Then felt down the root area flat. Next, bend the yellow wool strip and fix it along the edge line. Note that after fixing the outer edge line, the inner edge line must also be fixed, bending and securing it. Be sure to fix the inside area at the places where you drew the contour lines. After fixing both ends, you may find some excess wool sticking out. At this point, use scissors to trim it off. If you find there isn't enough wool here, you can continue to take out a small amount of wool, cover it on top and felt it in. Make sure to felt along the contour lines. After fixing both ends of the hair curl, next, start felting the middle part. Begin from the middle root area. Felt this root area a bit flatter. Then gradually build up the arc of the hair. This way the shape we make will look better. Note that this is the highest point. Then the middle curl should continue to be felt relatively flat. If after curling, the shape doesn't look good, we can use the felting needle gently along the edges to adjust its shape. If there isn't enough wool here, we can also continue taking wool and gently layer it on top for build-up. With this, the entire shape of the hair curl is felted and completed. If anyone finds this 3D shape difficult, we can simply felt it flat along the edges instead. Next, we start felting the mouth and the mole. We can first use the felting needle to mark the approximate position of the mouth. Then mark roughly where the mole should be. Then take a very small amount of wool, roll it into a small ball, place it above the mouth, and felt it flat. This way, the shape of the mouth is completed. Next, we start felting the mole's shape. Take a similarly tiny amount of wool, roll it into a small ball, place it on the marked spot, and gently felt it in. This completes the mouth and mole parts. Next, we begin felting the entire shape of the Coke bottle. Note that this Coke bottle needs to be made in 3D form. Take wool and tear off a relatively larger portion, because the Coke bottle here needs to be three-dimensional. Then slightly roll it into shape. Place it on top of the Coke bottle area, and use the felting needle to fix it. First, fix it along the edges. Here, be careful to firmly fix it within the Coke bottle's area, not poking it into other areas. We want the shape of the hand to come out here. After roughly fixing the shape, use the felting needle to tighten and firm it up. Note that since we want a 3D shape, we can keep layering wool on top. building up the volume for a three-dimensional form. Next, we start felting the paper bottle cap part. Similarly, this is also a three-dimensional bottle cap. We take some wool, tear off a small amount, roll it into a ball, and place it in the bottle cap area. First, use the felting needle to fix it in place. After fixing, we then secure it along the edge lines. Note, our bottle cap is oval-shaped, so we must strictly follow the edge lines carefully. In this way, the Coke bottle cap and the bottle body parts are both felted and completed. Next, we begin felting the area above the Coke bottle that has the logo. We continue to take wool, tear it into thin slices, and after tearing it like this, we place the wool in the appropriate position. Then gently fix it with the felting needle. After fixing, we felt along the edges. Here, be careful not to felt onto the hand area. Our Coke logo has a slight curve, so the felting here needs to be rounded smoothly. If during felting the shape is not quite nice, we can continue to gently adjust the shape with the needle. With this, our Coke bottle is complete. If during making it, we find it is not three-dimensional enough, we can gradually add more wool, cover it and continue felting, which will make it look fuller and more 3D. Next, we make the white part on the Coke bottle. To make it look more realistic, we take some wool again, tear off a small amount, tear it into very thin strips, making the area smaller. Then place it on the top area of the Coke bottle, between the bottle cap and the bottle body. Gently fix it with the felting needle. This completes the felting of that area on top of the Coke bottle. Next, we start felting the letters on the Coke bottle body. We take wool, tear off a small amount, roll it into long strips. Also note, because we need to felt 4 letters on the bottle body, the positions must be carefully marked. To felt all 4 letters correctly, we can slightly adjust the positions. First, we prepare the first fixing point. Place it in the proper position. Then use the felting needle to fix one end. Next, fix the lower part. Remember, here we want to make a C shape, so we roll it slightly, and then fix its lower end. We mark the second point, fix its lower end, and after securing, we trim off the excess wool with scissors. This basically fixes the shape. After this, we need to fix the third point of the C, which is on the left side. Fix it now. This completes fixing one letter. Next, we start felting the second letter. Place it at the appropriate position. Then fix the first point. After fixing, we roll it a bit, shaping the head and tail to form a proper O shape, and fix both ends at the same spots. Here, we only need to fix it gently. No need to felt too tightly. Then, trim the excess wool here. Now you can see the O shape is done. We gently fix the bottom end, also the left and right ends. This way, the second letter is completed. Next, we take wool again, tear it into strips, and begin felting the third letter. If the strip is a bit thick, we can remove some wool and keep adjusting the thickness. Once adjusted, we felt the third letter. First, fix the top end, then the tail end. After fixing, use scissors to trim excess wool. Fix the first point and bend it slightly, forming an L shape. If any wool strands are out of place, we can use the felting needle to smooth them. Next, we start making the fourth letter. Take wool, tear it into strips, place it in the proper position, and gently fix it. Similarly, curl it a bit, then trim excess wool, and use the needle to refine the letter's shape. With that, all 4 letters have been completed. If we want to make the artwork look more three-dimensional, we can continue felting to shape the 2 hands in 3D. Take some wool, roll it into small balls, place them in the proper positions, and fix them with the felting needle. Make sure to follow the outline carefully when felting. This way, the 3D shapes of the hands are completed. Next, we continue felting the 3D shape of the other hand. We take wool, roll it up, and before placing it, we can lightly fix it with the felting needle. Then place it in the proper position. First fixing the middle part with the needle, and then shape the edges to adjust its form. That is great. This way, the entire felt artwork part is completed. Next, we will put it into the frame. We can take scissors, then cut along the edge lines of the artwork. Be careful not to cut into the edge lines. When cutting around the scissors part, make sure to follow along the edges continuously. This way, we finish trimming all around the edges. Next, we flip it over to the back and tidy up the felted 3D Coca-Cola bottle area and the edges by trimming the fabric neatly. Cut off the extra fabric carefully, making sure not to cut into the felted wool part, only trimming the fabric. After trimming neatly like this, we put it into the frame. Next, take the frame, remove the backboard, place the felt artwork inside the frame, then flip it over. Here, be careful. We want to take the Coca-Cola bottle out of the circle frame area. Fix the backboard into the frame's groove, like this. And this completes our felt artwork. Looking forward to seeing everyone's creations.